Have you ever engaged in a serious debate over which is better, Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings? Have you ever played Smash or Pass using only characters from Star Wars and Marvel movies? If you answered yes to any of these questions, we have the podcast for you. Listen to The Steam Gentlemen, the podcast where an expert panel convenes to ask the questions about pop culture and social commentary that other podcasts are afraid to ask. Listen to The Steam Gentlemen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Ladies and gentlemen, Wrestling Fans International Association is back. That's right, the premier fan club association of the 1970s and 1980s has been revived and is back in business. Join today. It's free at thewfia.org. That's thewfia.org. You can also join us on Facebook at facebook.com/groups/WFIA 1969. Welcome back, everybody, to the 1998 Chronicles by Fleisch. I had to catch myself there. I am your host, Brad Drake, and this is once again World Championship Wrestling. Yes, we will eventually return to the ECW save, but I am having so much fun with this WCW one that I wanted to go ahead and continue on with it. Everybody, we are taping WCW Pro, also known as WCW Pro Wrestling, and we'll be doing that for the next few episodes. We are in February of 1998 here in the save. The last episode we broke down how things are going, and this has been a lot of fun to do. These shows have been a lot of fun to plan out and to execute, and I'm having a lot of fun with this WCW save, and it's taking me back to a lot of memories. I was a big wrestling fan in the 1980s and early 90s, and then I shied away and did not watch wrestling again until 1997. Late 1990, summer 97. And that's when I became a wrestling fan all over again, mostly due to WCW. And so going through this and seeing all these old names again, this is a lot of fun. A lot of fun for me to go back and see this and maybe do things right that maybe weren't done right back then. So we haven't done too much with the rosters. We just cleaned up the way the rosters should be. You know, for example, you had members of the NWO Japan that were available at any given time that are back on here. Yuji Nagata was full-time with WCW back then. So a lot of little things that we've tweaked and cleaned up to make this more accurate. So tonight, we are going to... this is also the most intricate spreadsheet I think I've ever had. We've really gotten things broken down here. Here's the Thunder tapings. We're taping 2 shows at once, just like how Thunder originally was. And of course, we have Nitro every Monday, which has been a blast to do. A lot of fun to do. So back onto our B shows now. We're taping Pro and Worldwide Wrestling, or Worldwide, were both recorded at the Disney-MGM Studios. So that's where I'm doing it here in the game. Yes, we get about 4 times higher audience if we did it somewhere else, but it works for here. We're trying to keep things as realistic as possible. I have signed up all local talent. Okay, obviously I'm not going to be able to do this month in, month out. We'll be recording 4 episodes, and these are all squash matches for the most part. Very similar to the WWF save we've done, but in real life, this was kind of how it was done. Pro at this point was really more of a C show. There was a lot of highlight stuff on it and stuff like that, and we're not too extremely worried about that here on this save. Now you'll see that I've broken down announcers, the interviewer, specific road agents, specific referees. That's just to have more fun with this and to make things more realistic, everybody. That's all. That's all that's to it. So let's go ahead and we'll give our card rundown for this episode. We're going to have Alan Martin in there against Super Calo. We're going to see an NWO promo. You're going to dig the way I do this. Ed Mattox is going to face Prince Iaukea. Ray Traylor, a.k.a. the Big Boss Man, is going to cut a promo. Ray Traylor is also going to be in action here with Darrell Dalton. James Vandenburg is going to cut a promo with Wrath and Mortis. And we're going to see Dennis Allen and Jeremy Lopez in there against Wrath and Mortis. Wrath and Mortis, of course, was Brian Clark, was Wrath, and Mortis was Chris Kanyon. For those of you that are young and may not know, we're going to see a Rick Martel or a HUGH MORRUS promo. I'm not sure which one yet, but we'll do one of them. And then we're going to see HUGH MORRUS challenge Rick Martel for the World Television title. Rick Martel has recently taken that title from Booker T, just as he did in real life. And Rick Martel is currently our TV champion. And let me tell you something, everybody. He was in his early 40s at this point, and he could still go. And Rick Martel, I was actually very excited back when I was 16 years old watching this, when Rick Martel won that television title. Unfortunately, Rick Martel suffered some pretty serious injuries and hung his boots up not too much longer after this in 1999. So, I'm sorry, 1998. So here we go, everybody. With that said, with all of that said, let's get to booking. All right, so we have Martin and Calo here. They're going to go 3. We've got the enhancement matches loaded up. I don't have it conveniently right at the top like I normally do, but this is good enough, and I actually put this into the save. So anytime we start, into the mod. So every time we start a new save, these automatically click in. So here we go. Alan Martin against Super Calo. Super Calo was a talented guy. He had a really goofy look with the street clothes thing, but he was good in the ring. And he's on our roster, and we are going to use him. He's got very cold momentum because he's done a lot of losing. That's why. All right, let's get our referees and road agents set properly. So we'll have Mickey J do this one, and Kevin Sullivan is our road agent. All right, so here's Mickey J. Here is Kevin Sullivan. Super Calo gets the win. This one's in the books. All right, up next here, we have an NWO promo. Now, check out the cool way we do this. The following announcement has been paid for by the New World Order. Who remembers that? Who remembers hearing that voice say that? I was actually, about a week into this game, and I went, wait a second. They used to always do those ads on these B shows, so I got to do it. All right, so we have a couple different NWO feuds going right now. Actually, we have quite a few. Vicious and Delicious is in there with Neidhart and Smith. That's right, Jim Neidhart and Davey Boy Smith were working as a tag team at this point, so I put them in the game as such. Lex Luger has got a feud going with Randy Savage. We have Kevin Nash and the Giant feuding. Scott Hall's in a feud with Diamond Dallas Page. So we have quite a few of these feuds going. So let's do a promo with Scott Hall, Vicious and Delicious, okay? So here's Scott Hall. Here's Buff Bagwell. Here's Scott Norton. And they're going to be talking about Diamond Dallas Page. They're going to be talking about Jim Neidhart, the Anvil, one of my favorite wrestlers as a kid, and Davey Boy Smith, another of my favorite wrestlers as a kid. Although I was always partial to the Dynamite Kid. All right, so these 3 men will be off screen. We're going to have Scott Hall and Buff Bagwell do all the talking here. Okay, road agent, of course, is going to be Kevin Sullivan. This one's booked. All right, so that promo is set. Next, we have Ed Mattox and Prince Iaukea. So here is Mattox versus Iaukea. There's Ed Mattox. Here is Prince Iaukea. All right, Prince Iaukea is going to get the win here. Our referee is going to be Mickey J. Kevin Sullivan's our road agent. This one's all set. All right, again, squash matches, but squash matches are important in wrestling. There should still be shows with just squash matches. I'm telling you, it makes a big difference in wrestling. All right, Ray Traylor is going to cut a promo here. It's not going to be a very good one, but he's going to cut that promo. All right, so he's talking with, I think we have Lee Marshall. Yes, Lee Marshall is the interviewer. So here's Lee Marshall. Here's Ray Traylor. And we currently have Ray Traylor in a feud with Ernest Miller. Okay, so Lee Marshall's going to get entertainment. Ray Traylor's going to get entertainment. And Ernest Miller's going to be off screen. We're doing this with Lee Marshall because he's going to help us get a better score. It's a B show. It really doesn't matter. But why not try to get the highest scores we can get, right? All right, here is Dalton against Traylor. They're going to go 3 minutes. Dalton versus Traylor. Mickey J's the referee. Kevin Sullivan is our road agent. Here's Darrell Dalton. And here is Big Ray Traylor, who I think left in some point in '98 and went back to the WWF as the Big Boss Man. I'm going to keep him around here as long as I can because I think he's a good serviceable hand. Ray Traylor's also a lot younger than you think. The guy's only 34 here. He's been around forever, but he's only 34. All right, so we're going to book this one out. That just shows you how young the Boss Man was when he was headlining against Hogan 10 years before. That just shows you the guy was only 24 years old. Wow. All right, James Vandenburg is going to cut his promo here with Wrath and Mortis. They're going to go 6 minutes. Of course, Kevin Sullivan's going to be our man. And James Vandenburg cuts a promo with Wrath and Mortis. Wrath and Mortis, as goofy as a gimmick as this was, it worked. It was pretty good. I liked it. All right, here's Lee Marshall. Here is James Vandenburg. Here is Wrath. Here is Mortis. Okay, so Lee Marshall and James Vandenburg are going to be doing all the talking here. And this one's booked. All right, so here comes our big tag match up next. And we have Allen and Lopez in there against Wrath and Mortis. Allen and Lopez versus Wrath and Mortis. Okay. So Arn Anderson is not our road agent. Mickey J is our referee. So this Allen character, what's his first name? Dennis Allen? Here is Dennis Allen. I think Jeremy Lopez. There he is. And we can plug in Big Wrath and Mortis here. Both these are good sized guys. So we're going to have Wrath get the win here. Former Adam Bomb, Brian Clark. This one's booked. Not quite. 3 minutes. There we go. Now it is booked. Let's double check that last one to make sure Kevin, he was good. Cool. All right, up next here we have Rick Martel cutting a promo. And let's stick with Rick Martel for the heck of it. So here's Lee Marshall. Here is Rick Martel. Rick Martel is not in a feud with anybody, so you don't have to worry about putting anybody on there. Rick Martel was traditionally not a good promo. So Lee Marshall will help him out here. Rick Martel cuts a promo. We're just enjoying this ride right now with Rick Martel as the World Television Champion. We haven't yet set him up in a feud with anybody, but that will happen. So this is a big main event. They're going to get 14 minutes, which was not uncommon on these smaller shows. They wouldn't quite get that long, but then again, you weren't having 6-minute promos either. Just the way it goes in this game, adjustments that we have to make to try to keep things realistic, even though it is unrealistic. All right, here's HUGH MORRUS. Here is Rick Martel. World Television title is on the line. Here is Rick Martel. Rick Martel is going to get the win. Oh, and check this out. Titles. I went back to the classic looks of the belts. It's so much better of a looking belt than the WCW one was. So was the TV title. So we went back to him. What's the NWA going to do? Sue? Ooh. All right. Turner bought the rights. They probably have the right to sue the NWA if they wanted. All right, so Rick Martel gets the victory here, everybody, 14 minutes. Looks like we could run another 9 minutes if we wanted to, and we may spruce things up. We may put more squash matches in the future. But for now, I'm happy with it. Let's go ahead and start the show here and see how we do. There we go. Super Calo, Super Calo, I think it was, gets the win with that diving Hurricane in just 2.5 minutes over Alan Martin, who's got a great balding mullet there, also known as a skullet. He kind of is a funny-looking guy, too. I know we've used him in every save as enhancement talent, and we'll continue to do so. All right, up next, we have that promo with the NWO here, and it gets a nice score, 69. Not bad at all. All right, up next here, Prince Iaukea against Ed Mattox, and they get a whopping 16. Red Text the Doom all over the place here, everybody. 35-24 nets us a 16. Red Text the Doom. All right, up next here, Lee Marshall and Ray Traylor manage a 47 promo. Trying to say Lee Marshall can't talk. I believe Lee Marshall was the exact opposite of that, but hey, what do I know? Red Text the Doom over there. Moving right along down the line here. Darrell, Dalton, and Ray Traylor. Ray Traylor gets the win with that Trailer Trash, also known as the Bubba Slam, also known as the Sidewalk Slam. And that one gets a 24 overall. It's a 53 and a 15. Red Text the Doom here. Red Text the Doom. 24 overall, everybody. Moving right on. Not bad. We got a lot of green going on here. Lee Marshall and James Vandenburg pull us out a 44 promo here for Wrath and Mortis. Not bad at all. I'll take it. And up next here, we have the squash match here with Wrath and Mortis overcoming young Dennis Allen and young Jeremy Lopez, not to be confused with Jennifer Lopez. You really can't confuse them, right? But the hair is about the only thing they got in common. Anyway, Wrath gets the win with that meltdown, and 56 and a 43 for Wrath and Mortis. Not bad at all. Lots of green here. You can see that these two have good chemistry, not only with Vandenburg, but also with each other. So we got some good stuff here. 29 overall, which I believe is a little underwhelming for this match. Probably a lot better than that, but again, it's just a squash match. All right, moving right along here, Rick Martel and Lee Marshall get us a 52 promo, and that's about as good as you're going to get with Rick Martel, no doubt, especially 41-year-old Rick Martel. He may even be a little bit older than that here. All right, here comes our main event, and I'm shocked with this one. We get a nice 62 score here. I figured we'd get a worse score than that, but 68 for Rick Martel, 51 for HUGH MORRUS, 62 overall, not bad. And Martel is showing his age here. Morris was holding back. Fair enough, lots of bonuses here. Morris, of course, is with Jimmy Hart. And good stuff here, everybody, 62. Let's see how we did overall here. 62 overall for a C show is a pretty darn good score. And just so you know, everybody, I have not messed with anybody's skills. This is straight from the original mod. Nobody's skills have been messed with. So that's the original mod, and that's how it's going here. All right, everybody, that's going to do it for us for this one. We'll be back with the next episode with another episode of WCW Pro. I think it was actually Pro Wrestling, but Tony Schiavone used to always just call it Pro, so I'm calling it Pro. All right, thanks for tuning in, everybody. For those of you that are new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button and drop us a message below. Let us know you found the channel, and leave us a message below if I haven't said that already, which I think I already did. But that's okay. If you're looking for more, you can find it. Head on over to Patreon, patreon.com/PowerCast Network for just $5, everybody. You'll get access to the 1987 Supermod. You'll get access to all of our spreadsheets and so much more, everybody. Check it out today. That's www.patreon.com/PowerCast Network. And yes, I said www, just like they would in 1998, everybody. Last but not least, check us out on social media, facebook.com/group/1987 Supermod. And don't be afraid, everybody, to Get your free membership to Wrestling Fans International Association by heading over to the WFIA.org. That's right, it's free to join, everybody. Give it a shot and you'll get a free monthly subscription to our digital magazine, Wrestling Fan News. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next time.